Now, what year would this have been?
This would have been 2000.
Okay.
And that was the year of the big Sula Complex. You remember that?
Yeah, I drove by it, yeah.
Yeah, huge fire. And then I jumped one more summer after that.
So you were there when things really started burning up there.
Yeah.
What did you track that as a guy who's a fire professional? I mean, a prescribed fire professional. Did you kind of watch what was going on there and have any general impressions or learn anything from it?
Exactly from
Well, I mean, there's fire everywhere up there, and so. Did you come to any conclusions about the role of prescribed fire and the role, just what were your feelings? What did you think about it?
Well, I was enjoying myself so much, I don't think I was thinking about much at all.
Enjoying being a jumper?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of fire jumps?
I got, I think I got the most jumps the first year and the second year. So my first year in Missoula. But come to think of it, maybe not, because the fire season, 2000 fire season, got so hot and heavy early that I may not have gotten a lot of jumps in that year, because pretty soon we were just ground pounding everything.
Because everything was so big.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Sula Complex, I was on that for probably a month, and that was all. I just took a rig out of Missoula and went down there, simple resource. Did a lot of training. I got a chance to, work myself through some of the qualifications that I wanted.
Do you remember anything about that fire? Any stories about it, or people, or things that happened?
No. Yeah. There was one place where I particularly had fun and ran into an old friend from back in my magazine days, Bob Much.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Bob?
Yeah.
And he lived down south of Missoula, probably still there. And I was assigned a division down there in, what's the name of that canyon? Anyway, it was one way in, one way out. Everyone up there that lived up there were 50 or 60 homes, hated the government.
Yeah.
I mean, like Gun kind of hated the government.
Yeah.
And my job was to go in there and convince them to evacuate.
How'd that go?
Not well. I guess about half of them left.
Yeah.
And that's where I ran into Bob. He was out at the mouth of the canyon giving away brochures and talking to people about interface issues. And so I got some of them evacuated. The others we worked out a deal. And I mean, one guy literally came out with a pistol in his hand and said, "What do you want?" And we kind of had to talk him, sweet talk him into letting us set up around his cabin. And our deal was, if you see us going that way about 50 miles an hour, follow us.
Yeah.
Because we're going to book out of here as soon as things get bad. And the fire was coming, you could see the smoke over the ridge. Yeah. Literally from that canyon. And so we set up pumps, hobnobbed with people as much as we could, and we started drilling. And so the first time we tried, we said over the radio, "This is a drill, we're going to evacuate this canyon." And it took us about an hour to get all the pumps started and primed and everybody out. And by the time we were done with our assignment and 14 days were up, we had down to about 15 minutes we could get out of there.
Did you ever have to evacuate it?
It never burned.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was the funnest time that I had.
So you were married to one of the early women smoke jumpers.
No, I think there'd been quite a few around for years. She was invited to a reunion of women jumpers, and I think there were over 100 that were playing.
Oh, is that many?
Yeah.
There were none when I jumped, so
Yeah.
that's all new to me. You were in a unique position though to watch the whole process. What was your general impression about how they were integrated into the smoke jumpers, how women were integrated? What was your feelings about it?
I can't really speak to that because it was a pretty well done deal by the time I got into it in '99. Women were, they weren't common, but there were quite a few women in the jumpers. But I did see it when I was in California, starting out. Because now we're talking about 72, 73, and women were unknown in fire. And Puppy's got his basketball. You're going to hear a lot of growling. He likes to discipline that basketball. I had some of the first women on fires in California on my cruise from Santa Cruz. I mean, we were all students. Yeah. And people would stare at us and make comments about women on fire lines. And one incident I remember really well on the Marble Cone fire in '77. They were still unusual enough that they didn't quite know how to give the women an opportunity to shower. Well, they set up these showers with canvas walls and no top. And the guy that designed it, I don't think he had this in mind, but he put the shower in a bowl. And there was a bridge pretty close in, all around it. And so they announced in briefing, they said, women's showers are from 5 to 6 in the evening. And so women show up, and the whole bridge around was full of guys. And so these are pretty tough girls. And so they decided, well, hell with it, we're going to take a shower. We need one. And so they took their shower, and then it was the men's turn to take a shower. All the women got up on the roof and started hooting and hollering and whistling and everything.
Isn't that great?
That was the end of that. Never happened again. They lost us on that fire. It was Santa Cruz 1, 2, and 3. And we were out there probably at least 2 weeks, maybe 3. And we were there a total of 90 days. So we were out there a long time, and they didn't give us a break. And so I hiked into the camp there in Pfeiffer State Park, and I said, how about a break? And they said, who are you? And I said, Santa Cruz 1, 2, and 3. And they said, we don't have a Santa Cruz 1, 2, and 3 here. I said, yes, you do. They said, get those kids in here. So they put us down on the beach, and 4 or 5 days went by, and we were having fun at the beach, and I was thinking, I got to get these guys back to work again. And I walked up, and same thing. They had no record of us existing. Get them back out on the fire. And, but those crews were, I think I counted one time, 40% women. Yeah. And Gail Wilcox was probably the first female crew boss in California. I asked her to be one of my crew bosses. She was a good firefighter. She runs a flower shop now somewhere in Oregon. And she caused a lot of eyebrows to be raised, seeing a female running a bunch of male firefighters. And so I watched that whole thing kind of unfold. And by the time I got up to the jump base, we had a bunch of women at the base. And they were all holding their own very well.
Cool. So by then you're in your mid-50s.
Yeah,
and you finished jumping